Kyle Larson was not supposed to be at Knoxville Raceway on Saturday night. A crew member was already assigned to start and park his sprint car for him. But at 15 minutes past midnight, he walked through the gate in Iowa, climbed into the number 57, led all 50 laps, and collected $200,000. Racing has never seen a night quite like it. Let's back all the way up, because the setup for this matters. The 65th running of the Knoxville Nationals is the biggest sprint car race on the planet. Drivers build entire seasons around it. And for 2026, Knoxville shifted its date back by a week, which dropped the Saturday championship feature directly on top of the Cookout 400 at Richmond Raceway. Two of the most important races in American motorsport, running at the same hour, 1,100 miles apart. For Kyle Larson, that math had exactly one answer. He drives the number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. He is sitting inside the chase cut line with the postseason bearing down, and his season has not gone the way anybody in that shop expected. Richmond was not optional. Knoxville was, so he did what any obsessive dirt racer would do. He went to Iowa early and raced anyway. On Thursday night, at Toyota qualifying night, Larson rolled off 8th in the Silva Motorsports number 57 for the 25-lap preliminary feature. He carved through the field, ran down Garrett Williamson late, and took the win. That made him the high-point driver of the entire qualifying process, which locked him onto the pole for Saturday night's $200,000 A main and banked him another $2,000 for the pole itself. And then he was going to leave it behind. The pole position for the biggest sprint car race in the world, and Larson had already made peace with watching it on a screen. Crew member Trevor Canales was slated to jump into the 57 car, roll off the front row, because Larson had a Cup Series race to run in Virginia. That is where the weather changed everything. Steady rain hammered Knoxville all day Saturday. The track crew was still working on the surface, while the Cup Series was already halfway through the Cookout 400. Larson is strapped into a race car at Richmond Raceway, running 400 laps around a 3/4-mile short track, and his Cup crew chief Cliff Daniels comes over the radio mid-race to tell him there is a big delay in Iowa. Larson's answer was basically a shrug and an okay. Then he went and drove the wheels off the thing. He had started 30th at Richmond. He finished 6th. 31 points, a 2-position jump in the standings, and the first time all season that all 4 Hendrick Motorsports cars finished inside the top 10, with Chase Elliott 5th, Larson 6th, William Byron 9th, and Alex Bowman 10th. The checkered flag flew at Richmond around 10:30 at night Eastern Time. Larson was out of the car and running before most of the field had even finished their cool-down lap. His Jet, tail number N501KL, was wheels up out of Richmond at approximately 10:57, 27 minutes from checkered flag to airborne. And then the entire racing world, fans flooded onto Flight Radar 24 to track that one aircraft crossing the country. At its peak, more than 17,000 people were simultaneously following a single private jet, which made it the #1 tracked flight on Earth for virtually the whole trip. A race car driver's jet flying from Virginia to Iowa. At Knoxville Raceway, they leaned all the way into it. Track officials put the live flight tracker up on the giant video board. Every time it moved closer to Iowa, the crowd roared. Around midnight Eastern, the plane was over Indiana. By 25 past, it was over central Illinois. Thousands of people in a dirt track grandstand in rural Iowa were cheering at a flight tracker like it was a green flag restart. The flight took 118 minutes. Larson touched down at Pella Municipal Airport with the C main already running on track, hopped into a waiting police escort, and covered the last 20 minutes before he strapped into the sprint car. He missed hot laps entirely. He had no warm-up, no feel for a track surface that had been rained on all day and completely reworked, and he was rolling off from the pole in the richest sprint car race in the world against the best field anybody could assemble. So how did that go? He led all 50 laps, start to finish, wire to wire. Sheldon Haudenschild chased him the whole way, and finished second with Kasi Khan third, James McFadden fourth, and Logan Schuchart fifth. Larson got shuffled back into lapped traffic with 2 laps remaining and simply drove away again. Tyler Courtney had won the B main to get in, Ryan Timms took the C main, and Tanner Holmes charged from 24th to 11th for hard charger honors on a night. Hodenschild summed up the whole mood in the pits afterward. He said he was glad Larson made it back, because if he is going to win this race, he wants to beat Kyle and the best there is. That is respect you cannot manufacture. Larson called it extremely surreal in victory lane and said it had been a range of emotions, and give Hendrick Motorsports real credit here, because plenty of Cup teams would never allow this. Larson made a point of thanking Rick Hendrick's whole operation, Hendrick Cars, Com and team president Jeff Andrews from Victory Lane, specifically for backing dirt racers. He also shouted out Corey Day, the young Hendrick development driver, who was racing at Knoxville that same night. The winner's check was $200,000. Add the preliminary night prize, the $2,000 for the pole, and a $10,000 Jesse Hockett Mr. Sprint Car award. He and car owner Paul Silva also went perfect for the week. The front row challenge at Southern Iowa Speedway on Monday, Thursday's qualifying night, and then the crown jewel itself. This was Larson's 4th Knoxville Nationals victory after 2021, 2023, and 2024. That ties him with Kenny Weld and Danny Lasowski for 4th on the all-time winners list, making him only the 22nd driver ever to reach that mark. And here is a statistic that genuinely stopped me. Larson has now led 178 career laps in Knoxville Nationals Championship features. Only Donnie Schatz and Steve Kinser have led more. He did that while flying in and out of Iowa around a full-time Cup Series schedule that Larson never made it back to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600. Rain took the double from him then and gave him Knoxville now. Larson sits 8th in the standings with 660 points after Richmond. 2 races remain, New Hampshire Motor Speedway next Sunday, and then the regular season finale at Daytona International Speedway, before the field is set and the 10-race chase opens at Darlington on September 6th. Nothing about Kyle Larson's career makes normal sense. They stayed up because they doubted whether he could get there. So tell me in the comments where this ranks for you. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our New Hampshire preview this week, and go watch our full breakdown of the Richmond finish that started this whole insane night, because the 22 car had a story of its own.